Hi, welcome to Subcreation. I'm Nathan. I'm an artist and a designer, and this channel is about creative process. Today I'm going to be continuing the series that we've been doing previously of white charcoal on black paper. But first, I'm going to jump into a program called Sketchbox to sort of outline the Oh, hi, Catlin. Let's see if I can. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble accessing my chat thing here. Shoot, I was not prepared for this. Okay, so I guess I need to. I know what I could do. I'll just drag this over there, and then I can see it a little better. All right, so sorry for the delay there. Okay, so what I wanted to do is jump into Sketchbox. Actually, this is Medium, but I was going to pull up Sketchbox. Give me 1 second to switch programs here. Put this up, and now I need to open Sketchbox. All right, that'll just take a second. Meanwhile, I can show you the project. See, that's Sketchbox. So this is the elephant, the reference for the elephant that we're drawing, and this is the drawing that we have started. So I'll be resuming with that in a few minutes. Just lost my screen for a second, so I'm not sure what happened. Oh, that might be Sketchbox that takes over the screen like that. Yeah, it's starting up. I should have had this preloaded. Okay, here we go. So for you to see this, I need to hold on. I'm going to switch to Sketchbox, and there we go. Oh, there's a little bit of a problem with Sketchbox though. All right, so we are not going to do Sketchbox today. I'll switch back to Medium for this, and we can do that later. That's too bad. I had this set up earlier and it seemed to be working, but it looks like leaving it and restarting it has messed up the windows I had set up for it. So we'll just come back to that. I'm going to switch over here. We can just jump right into the drawing since that is no technical issues with the drawing. So let's see. So how are you doing out there, Catlin? Let's see, there's like a slight little bit of that. Good. I spent a good chunk of today doing all this that you see around the screen. The particle effect and so I'm pretty happy to have that taken care of. That's something I've been planning on implementing for a while, getting this visual treatment done. Trying to make it so there's always an improvement to the stream. Here, I'm going to go ahead and get some tunes going. That's my approach. My plan is to make a little bit of improvement every week or so, or at least every 2 weeks. Rather than trying to make a big project of it. If I'm always making some improvements, that makes it more manageable. It's usually always something I can find to make an improvement to. So what I would have outlined if I'd gotten Sketchbook open is that we're going to spend about an hour doing just drawing, and then after that what I usually do is a Rubik's Cube solve, and people can try to guess what my time will be. I give you a little bit of an idea of what my range is so that you have a chance at that, and then whoever gets the closest gets to choose the reference or the subject for my next drawing. So that can be fun. Just trying to find things to do to make things a little bit more interactive. Well, sometimes it's a drawing, and then sometimes it is a sculpt. I think today it will probably be a sculpt. I think that's what I said in the title. There's a sometimes I do a drawing with Sharpie, with Sharpie drawings. So you get a little bit more light on it. This lighting setup's a little bit tricky because I need a little bit more light, but it seems like if there's too much light on it, it kind of washes it out on the paper, and it's harder to see the effect. So then after the sculpt, well, I was thinking of doing a section on chatbot design today. That's something I have an interest in, is design chatbots. And in fact, it might make sense to do that earlier, because the idea for the chatbot I was going to make was I wanted to set up a chatbot so that when somebody gets to pick, when somebody wins the Rubik's Cube solve, when they guess right, it can be kind of tricky coordinating how we get the image, what image or reference is selected. So I thought maybe we'd make a chat bot that would help with that. So when you win, you could just go to, I post a link to the chat bot, you can go to the chat bot and fill it out. And then and that way you can be kind of guided through making a choice, through the choices. Because I don't want depending on the medium that I'm using, some mediums lend themselves better to different subjects and different types of images. Like, for example, this obviously has to be black and white, and I'm looking for things that are predominantly black. I usually have people pick this, but it's important. If you were to pick this, you would need to know what kind of images work well with it. If you gave me an image that was primarily, if it was a very colorful image without a lot of contrast, it'd be very difficult. And not if there wasn't a strong, or even if it was a black and white image without a strong sense of light. Well, like in the case of this, the series is of animals, so you have to choose an image that has animals in it. So I was thinking a chatbot could help put a little bit of structure around that, asking a series of questions, and as you answer the questions, that could lead. I was thinking ultimately it could lead to a link where I could have maybe a board already on Pinterest prepared for it, or maybe just if it's not something that I want to prepare images for, I could just maybe give you guidelines or something like that. So that'll be fun. It's something new. Another activity I was thinking about doing is looking at some inspirational art. Inspiration is an important step in the creative process if you're trying to come up with ideas. And it's sort of where the ideas come from. Ideas essentially are links or connections that people make between things that they find. So finding things to make connections between, that's really the essence of the creative process. And that's what I try to do on this channel, is talk about the creative process and practice it, sort of work through it and show some of the things I've learned as a designer and an artist about the creative process. It's like I got my tea here. I'm wearing my two aperture things here. It just so happened to turn out the way I got the aperture mug and my aperture shirt from the video game Portal. Thought maybe the music had stopped, but I guess it's just a very, very quiet track. Maybe I'll skip it. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should listen to something that isn't quite so ambient. This is the ambient station. Let's go with chill's pretty good. Also, the other value of doing looking at inspirational art is it kind of helps you put the work that you're doing in context a bit. kind of easy if you get really focused on what you're doing to to just go deeper and deeper and to get more detail oriented and to work on trying to constantly improve like the particular techniques that you're developing or the mediums that you're using, which can be good. That's important too. But the thing that you get by taking a step back and seeing what everybody else is doing is sort of a broadened perspective and kind of see what like sometimes I notice I'll go and look at work that people are doing on Instagram, and I'll see that somebody else has taken something like an idea or something I'm developing, and they've taken it much further than I'm probably even likely to take it. And then that kind of can inform my plans, so I can think, is that something once I see somebody else having gone further with a concept that I'm working with, then I can think, okay, maybe that's good enough. Like that person has it covered, and I can try to go and steer in a slightly different direction. But more often you'll get an idea. You'll see somebody doing one thing that you hadn't thought of, and it'll connect with something else that you're already doing, and you can develop it further and sort of build on everything that everyone else is doing that's already happening out there, rather than doing all of that heavy lifting yourself, going only as far as you can go with it. All right, let's see. This is okay. So there's kind of a thing right here that is sort of important. So anyway, the thing I was thinking about looking at for inspiration, potentially, probably won't be this stream, it'll probably be another stream, but I was thinking of looking through some of the generative art that I've been seeing a lot of cool work in that's generative. And I was actually thinking of doing something, taking maybe some of the concepts I'm seeing in some of the generative art that I've been finding on Instagram, and maybe trying to do something surreal or semi-abstract that kind of builds on it in Oculus Medium. So that's one idea. Probably not this stream though. I've seen a lot of other charcoal artists will tend to build black on top of white, like they'll put white down and then draw with black charcoal on top of it. I don't have any black charcoal here at the moment either, but I haven't actually developed that technique myself. So I have to erase to draw in. I can only kind of work with the white. That's right though, because this eraser works really well for that. I can get a pretty good edge on it, and then it seems to do a pretty good job of picking up so much of the charcoal that it really is almost like I'm drawing with it. Let's see. See, it actually works pretty well. Oh, you can see a little bit of error. This actually has to go right into that. Another one of these little gaps I missed. Streams have been pretty quiet lately. I heard somewhere that you're always you should always keep talking on your stream and not let there be any dead air. I don't know if that's necessarily how it works on a creative stream, but I do try to, might as well give it a try and try to keep up the topic. It can be tricky though if you're, sometimes when you're drawing it can be kind of a meditative experience. It can be kind of hard to keep your, to be in the drawing, to keep your mind kind of in a place to make progress on the drawing if you're trying to hold a conversation at the same time too. A lot of Twitch streamers are doing it though, talking while the whole time they're drawing, so it might just be something I need to apply myself to more to get the hang of it. See, it looks like I got a lot more gaps in here than in the drawing. It looks like, in the reference, I should probably put the reference on Discord. Let me real quick. Let me go ahead and share this on Discord. Save image as. Just save that right here to my desktop as elephant. And then I got my Discord over here. So you're all invited to my Discord. There's the Discord invite. So go ahead and use that if you want to join the Discord, and you can post artwork here. Some people have been posting artwork, so that's exciting. I post reference or inspiration here, and then the reference goes in here. So I'm gonna, let's see, add. I go to desktop and find the elephant. There we are. Great. So if you want to follow along or do your own version of it, it's there. Drawing along with a Twitch stream can be a lot of fun. Done that a few times with Peppo. He invites people to draw with him sometimes, and I did some of his. He does just warm-ups with reference images of skulls, and that was one of the things I did that I followed along with him on. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. Feel like I've gotten lost in the folds here. I guess the goal isn't necessarily to make this exactly the same, but I am trying to kind of keep track of where I am in there. But wonder how I'll get that texture on the brow. That looks like that would be challenging. I'm gonna have to probably do that. It'd almost be like stippling, I don't know. I think I'll focus on this over here first. Similar to what I was saying before about the value of doing research or looking at inspiration of other artists and their work. Also, watching other artists while they're doing their work on other Twitch streams can be really, really valuable for learning and growing as an artist, and also for getting ideas of how to, what kind of subjects or styles of art you want to explore. So I've been watching KitSlam quite a bit lately. I have a lot of viewers in common with KitSlam, so I'm guessing that most of you probably know KitSlam. But if you don't, definitely go check him out. Go check out his feed, his stream, and follow him. But KitSlam does. I discovered him because I discovered him when he actually raided my channel. It was the first time I had a big raid. It was actually really fun. I had a lot of people then, and anyway, I've been watching his stream because he was doing a lot of animals at the time, which is sort of what I was focusing on, what I've been focusing on for a while. And so the thing I learned from watching KitSlam work is he works really gradually, building things up a little bit at a time. He doesn't rush things at all. And actually, when KitSlam, when I first met him, when he raided my channel, I was actually working on a series where I was practicing speed. So I was working in Sharpie at the time. I was working on white paper with black Sharpie, and working on trying to just draw as fast as I could. Working in ink, so everything's kind of permanent. I was doing a bit of construction lines, where you can see I have some construction lines here. These on the black paper, I use black lead for it. It's getting a little bit more like it. I don't know. It seems a little. Definitely, my drawing looks a lot softer than the source image. Might just end up being the nature of the medium, though. I don't know. I could probably get it a little sharper in here. So that's what I've been doing here with the charcoal drawing, is slowing down, taking it more gradually. Man, that's not to say that I will always draw this way, but I think that it's good to try a little more variation. To try the different things you see other people doing, mix up the technique, and then and then I have a little bit more range to work with, The reason I was practicing drawing fast before is because I think sometimes you get more expressive when you're going a little faster, and I also think that it forces you. Really, the thing I was doing it for was trying to get it to help me focus on was trying to develop efficiency. So like fewer strokes, doing more with less, being more careful in choosing the strokes, and not doing a lot of sketching or restating lines, I mean. But this kind of drawing is almost more like, as Kitsan often says, it's like sculpture. Like, I'm building this up a bit at a time. Like, when I look at it, I can see that this point here that I'm working on is actually one of the brightest spots I can see in the drawing. But rather than starting out there, I'm kind of building up to it. It kind of lets me find the forms a bit. If I were to put it down immediately, it would be, if I put down like the hardest line I could, making this as bold as it can be right away, it doesn't give me a lot of room to make adjustments. And that's what I'm doing, is kind of getting the basic shapes in there and then kind of building up into the highlights. Of course, as soon as I say that, I go and put in a line at almost full brightness. It ends up needing to be taken back a bit, though. There's some sort of unintended shapes in there. This elephant is definitely the amount of wrinkles and the texture to it makes it a really interesting, fun subject. So this down here also is about as bright as it gets up there. Probably one of the brightest points in the drawing. But I'm going to sort of build up to it. There we go. It's interesting working in light instead of the shadow. It's definitely quite a bit different than drawing. It kind of gets you out of the habit of thinking in terms of thinking of everything as lines. just can become a bad habit if you draw a lot. If you paint, you won't tend to think that way. But definitely with drawing and ink, you're going to have a tendency to see everything as lines. Of course, lines are really an illusion. Something that the way we sort of interpret the world, but really there are no lines. Let's see. There's a lot of kind of rock, like little shapes in here. One thing I've been thinking about as I do the drawings, so this is actually a pretty realistic rendering that I'm doing, in which case you tend to kind of just turn off your brain somewhat and just sort of go into like an automatic mode of sort of copying. But in the drawings I was doing before this, when I was using the Sharpie, there was so much interpretation that had to happen. Decisions have to be made about which lines to draw or not to draw. What? Oh, hear me, I'm saying lines again. And I guess some of them sort of are lines when you're with a Sharpie, but what shapes to indicate, how to interpret. Oftentimes I was working with color images as source and trying to interpret it into the drawing. And then you have to think a lot about how you're interpreting it. And I was oftentimes thinking about how to sort of prioritize. Since I was going so fast, I needed to sort of decide what, you don't want to do everything fast when you're doing things at speed. You want to slow down in a couple areas and then go fast in other areas. And so I was doing a lot of that, and I would sort of determine what was sort of the essence or the core of the image. Usually, in art, you're trying to convey a feeling that you're getting from it. So I would sort of pick out a part of the image to emphasize, and usually it would be sort of the focal point, which is with an animal's oftentimes the eyes. And so I'd oftentimes start with the eyes, go slowest on them, and then kind of build up. And then go much faster on things like the fur or the tail, or maybe a more action part of the drawing. I'm looking at this source, I can see that The light's kind of steady through there. I have it kind of fading out. I need to bring it up to about the level that we're seeing through there. There we go. That's right, this is going to take a very long time. Seems like a lot of these wrinkles are much thinner than what I'm seeing here, so trying to bring that up. Okay, we got a lot of sort of darker stuff in there. I think I might start with this over here. Kind of build into that, I think. So for this image, I'd say Catlin had pointed this out early on, is that he looks sad. There's definitely a sadness to this elephant. And I think a lot of it is in the expression of the eye there, but also it could just be the weathered skin probably makes it look fairly sad. It looks like it has some damage to it over here, so that might be adding to that feeling. On time. Pretty good. Actually, it's about 8:50, which means it'll be time to do the Rubik's solve pretty soon. So that means you can start thinking about what your guess will be. I can show you if anyone has seen before. This is actually my Rubik's brand Rubik's Cube, which means it's a slower cube of the cubes I have. It's one of the slower turning ones. Gets a little stuck, so you might take that into consideration. Guess a little higher maybe. Now, if you haven't seen the Rubik's solve before and you want to give it a try, the key thing to know is that you want to pick a number between what I like to call the deltas of shame. The numbers that, if you were to pick them, boy, that seems like that is too. Oh no, I guess I can just. Yeah, sorry, that's the number that you can. Essentially, think of the numbers that I'll give you what the deltas are. So, like the fastest I think I've solved it when I was timing myself, a 3x3 on my high-speed cube, not on that one, was I think 45 seconds. So if that's the fastest that I've recorded, then it'd be that's the upper delta. And if I were to mess up, I think the longest it's taken me, in fact what it took, not last week but the week before, was 4 minutes. Because I got right down to the end, I was almost done, and then I made a big mistake. and I had to fix some stuff. So those are the numbers you want to pick, somewhere between 45 seconds and a minute 30. Wow, that's a pretty optimistic guess. I could do it though. And I think we're probably gonna do I'd like to do the same thing as last week, where we pick an animal to sculpt. Last week's was a little challenging, but that's okay. I think it's good practice, and I think I can keep learning from it. I think I am learning a lot. Actually, we could do the if we did the bot first, that could give us some of the ideas for things that we could do. Well, I'll let you choose. I'll let you pick that. If you, it seems like Catlin's the only guest so far, so the chances are really good of winning. If anyone else wants to take a stab at it, you'd have pretty good odds. It's kind of like getting a. It's almost like getting a commission. I don't do commissions, so it's as close as you'll get to a commission. All right, that I think is pretty good. All right. So we go ahead and mix it up. I think we've got, so one guess of minute 30. I think that means no matter what time I get, Catlin would win, but still time to get your guess in if you like to guess. Going to all right, I guess I'm going to use the I'll use the, let's see, get the stopwatch there. I'm going to want to be in this view. Yeah, this will be the view. I'm going to just use the time right there. All right, if anyone else wants to guess the time, something between 45 seconds being my lowest and least and most unlikely time, and Catlin has a minute 30 there, and I'd say my average, I should probably give you my average, is closer to 2.5, maybe 3 minutes. I think on stream I've been a little slow. The pressure kind of that. All right. So I'm going to take a second to kind of look at it here and see where everything is. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, so I'm going to stop the music for this. No distractions. I need perfect silence. All right, and go. Let's see, where did that other one go? There it is. All right, it's looking pretty good. Let's see if, oh, that's not gonna do it. 30 seconds, huh? That's me. Oops, that is not it. There we go. Oops. There. Oops. What do I do? Oh, what do I do? Did something weird. Oh, we're getting close to the minute 30 mark. But I think you're still safe. But Catlin, because you're the only contestant. There we go. Oh, and we are almost done. Wait, something was... Oh, there we go. No? What is going on? Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay. There we go. 2 minutes. All right. So, 2 minutes. It's not bad. So, here, I'll get the music going again. So what I was thinking of doing, what I thought might be interesting would be if we do the bot first, the bot will sort of define how we'll do the so the bot is going to be a tool that will make it easier to choose images. Now I don't think we'll finish it 100% today, but I think it'd give us some thinking around how to pick the image. So it's up to you, Catlin. Do you want to do the bot first, or do you want to pick an image first? If we pick a bot first, you can still pick the image afterward. But if we do that, it may give us some more. We'll probably have some more ideas for how to do the reference selection when you win. So what do you say? I'll go ahead and pull that up. You want to do the picture first? Okay. So do you want to go ahead and pick? You can either pick a like an object or an animal, and then I can sculpt that in VR. Or we could try doing scenery again. I did want to get into doing scenery in VR. Here we have, I still have the search for alligators up from last time. Let's go ahead and pull up, what's this? There we go. So we could do scenery, or let's see, let's try maybe landscape. Okay, yeah. This is interesting. That would be that'd be interesting to try to do something like that. Might be kind of involved, but I think, I don't know. The more organic it is, the more that it lends itself to it. So here, I'll post this to the stream, and you can go ahead and pick one. Or if you see it already, you can just tell me. But if you want to just post a link to, like, if you find one, like if you wanted this one, you could pull this one up, and you could just post this link to the chat, and I'll go ahead and work with that. There's this, something like this with lots of, okay, this one up here. Sounds good. Maybe I just need to open it. Right click and choose open image in new tab. There we go. So I've got to save this image to, I think I have to save it to my pictures folder to find it in Medium. All right. So that should do it. I'm going to pull up the VR. Looks like, whoops, sorry, I pulled up the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, okay, so that seems to be working. I just need to add an image via pictures. We got our alligator pictures there. So sometimes it's a little slow. If I get in here too fast, it doesn't want to. You can see the cherry blossom picture from last time. I can see some of the Ganbert images and some of the. Okay, well, let's try. Might just try saving it again to see if it shows up. Save image as. Maybe it'll help if it has a more recognizable name. Looks like a cave. I'll call it a cave. I'll save this one to the desktop this time, see if that works any better. Desktop. There it is. Okay. It's kind of a low res image, but I think I'll be able to do all right with it. So one thing I need to do real quick before going further is I need my chat window in here. There it is. You guys can't see it, but I can see a chat window right here. So I like to have that right where I can see it. So, oops, I forgot to pin it. So pin that. Oops. I need to pin it. Pin, there we go. All right. So feel free to chat away. I am here. I'll be able to see what you're saying. Okay, so this should be interesting. I gotta make sure I'm not bumping into these things right here. So I should probably put this down lower and turn it a little bit, and then have the light a little bit out of the way. My mic still needs to be kind of in here, but I'll see if I can get it kind of more to the side. All right. So this will be an interesting experiment. We'll see how well I can do with it. We did a little bit of we did a cherry blossom in the, I think it was the very last, was it the last drawing? And so I know a little bit about how to do some of this foliage. That should be interesting. I think I'm gonna just start out. Let's see. The stamps, I'm gonna go ahead and select. Maybe under organic. No, I think more like rocks. There we go, rocks. I mean, it seems like that's what all that is, right? So rocks, but they're not really. Let's see, there's some very ridgy rocks there that the waterfall's kind of coming down. I think I'm gonna have to kind of paint that waterfall. That's gonna be probably part of the key. We'll be figuring out. I'll start with this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and choose some of that color. I'd say probably the I'm going to try to do this pretty loose and not get too detail oriented with it. That's kind of the idea there. What do you guys think? Is this, you can kind of see where this is heading, or seems to work? I think doing something that's organic makes it quite a bit easier. Whereas last week, that was a much more challenging subject, I think. Actually, there's going to be some, you can see there's some foliage in there. And there's also more of like a kind of a wall or sloping of this kind of a thing back there. Yeah, I think that's about it. And then no, it's not quite. Whoops. Try to make it a rule not to undo too much. But it's really hard to, easy to say, it's much harder to do. Alright, so then the waterfall kind of comes over, oops, like 2 levels, sort of 2 levels here. I think I'll probably paint it in on this surface, I think. Not totally sure. I guess if that's the case, I should go ahead and sort of fill in the water that's going up there. You can see they're like these rocks. sort of rough rocks up here, I think. Actually, I think I kind of wanted that texture, a little bit of texture anyway. But I don't know. Okay, so I got the, I really need more of this. Okay, so I think I'll use the move tool to stretch this out and kind of curve it around here, because that's what I'm seeing is that this is kind of, this actually curves all the way around now that I think about it. Now that I look at it, I think it's also kind of sloping out, it seems. That's what I think I'm seeing there. I don't know. Yeah, but you know, well, that's mostly covered in foliage anyway, so I just kind of want it, yeah. Because it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be covered in a lot of greenery. That's fine. One thing I do working in medium, you probably notice I'm just drawing the angle I see. There's no need to, you know, this isn't meant to be photographed from this angle, for example. I just kind of set up the angle I can see. Because scenery, at least the way I'm thinking of it, the scenery is a bit of more like a set. Okay, so I think I need a little bit more. I need a bit more going on coming out here. It's a little too harsh though. But I do want this to kind of. And then this kind of. No, it's a little too. It does seem to be doing that kind of a thing there. It seems strange to me that it is. I guess it would have been carved that way by, I don't know, water coming through here or something. One thing I do when I'm drawing or sculpting something is trying to some extent understand, you know, what I'm seeing. Okay, that's a lot more probably than we need on that side. I could probably maybe scrunch that in a bit. And on this side, I think there's a bit of a shore that's kind of. I'm kind of interpreting into it quite a bit, but that's all I can do. But this does kind of, I do think this is all coming in kind of out toward us here. Right, because I think we are in the cave. I'm gonna take this down to single stroke and bring it down a bit here and go ahead and do some. Now I can also, actually I'm gonna switch to move. Bring that down here a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to create a separate layer. So this I've been doing on the same layer. I'm going to paint a lot of it, I think, here pretty soon. But before that, I want to see, I'm going to try to figure out how this, the water in the foreground will work. So to do that, how am I doing on time? Doing okay. Sure you guys can see. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and create. Let me go ahead and create a very flat. Oh, I didn't create a new layer yet. Need a new layer. Something like that. Actually, I should figure out the color. I think the color, I'm going to go with white for now, actually. Okay. Now what I'm thinking is that this is going to be, first I kind of want to get that light in the place where the light is there. So let's do that. Because the light is a big part of this scene. Oh, the other thing is I'm going to make this light. I'm going to attach it to the scene. There we go. Yeah, now see, now it's attached, so when I move it around, I don't have to worry about the light moving independently of the. So that's kind of interesting. Now this I want to set to metal. Not quite what I'm imagining yet. Take the roughness way down. And let's see, what does the occlusion do? Can't really see what the occlusion is doing. So it might not actually be. It's definitely not to the point where I'm getting reflection of the object. But I think once I do some rippling in it, it will at least kind of have that bit of that appearance. Yeah. Mess that light a little bit more. Okay, well that's not quite the reflection I'd hoped for, but I'm gonna just keep going and see what I get. Wait, I'm seeing a reflection now when I look directly into it. You guys seeing that? It looks like a Coliseum, which is weird because I'm not in a Coliseum, but it looks like we're in a Coliseum when I look into the metal. I see like a reflection. It's definitely not reflecting the scene. It has some kind of existing scene that it uses to reflect. So that's a little disappointing because, but let's see, I could try it. I wonder if swirl, it might. I need a lot more resolution for this to work, I think. I'm gonna try manipulation. No. What I want. What is it? Settings. Actions. It's actions. Increase resolution. Let me see what the. Yeah, there's definitely some kind of Coliseum that's reflecting there. That is very disappointing. They use some kind of random environment. Oh well. to make this smaller, because what I really want is just to get kind of a bunch of that's. I want just a little bit, you know? Just a little bit, you know? This might not be the right tool for this. See what it does. Is it does this, yeah, that's really not it. Maybe really small. Maybe I just did really small and did maybe some strokes. Like, maybe it needs to have its strength turned down. There we go. No, that is too much still. No, that's disappointing. Okay, let's try. I don't think this metal is going to give me that kind of watery effect I was hoping for, but oh well. It'll be part of the learning experience. We'll see what we get. I could try maybe I could maybe just try carving it. Oops. Kind of carving it like this, you know. Oops. Not single. Why? Does that give me the kind of effect? Let me see. Last time I used this tool, I turned off. Oops. It's this. Actually, it's the smooth tool. I want to change. I have it set to flatten, and I actually want it to average. There we go. That's looking much cleaner. Gotta go a lot slower here. I'm forgetting how there seems to be a resolution to how the tool works. That kind of is getting more of a ripple type effect. See, if I go really slow, I get a nice steady line. But if I go really fast, it becomes a series of dots because there's a resolution to it. So if I go really fast, there's a lot of space between the dots. If I go slower, slower, and then now I get a perfectly solid line if I go down to that. So that's worth knowing. So I think what I want is these lines up here. Let's see. I guess the best thing to do would just be to go ahead and put them in like this, I think. Let's see if our view is from about here. I could still do maybe 3 or 4 more. Alright, now let's go ahead and smooth that out. So what I might need to do is actually paint that reflection on there, which means this will definitely be tied to only one location. But that's fine. But that could work. Let me see how that works. Let's go with painting these colors in here. Let's just go ahead and just... That could work. Oops. So everything else here is white already, I think. Oh, no. I was using a dark gray. Okay, so I can go ahead and paint this stuff in here like that. Oops. A little bit of a freeze there for a moment. Okay, here we go. I'm back. not perfectly water-like, obviously, but it's kind of a, it's like a in painting, like impressionistic like treatment of it. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, there's a little bit more, I guess, of this kind of stuff in here. Some more of that. Bring the opacity and hardness up. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and work on painting this. Zoom up. I think I'm going to increase the resolution one time. I might need to go up one more time. I'll bring this a little bit closer to me. Maybe I just need this to be up close and small. Maybe I'll put it in here. And have it over here with me while I'm painting. Let's see, there seems to be some of this. I need a little bit less opacity on this. Tikiwa, hey, welcome. Gee, I hope I haven't missed you for long. Well, you've been there for it's just a minute. Thanks for joining. I'm working on sculpting this cave scene, so I'm trying to do like a scenery type thing. How have you been? What are you up to? Been good. Just did some family stuff this weekend. How are you? Doing pretty well. Having fun. Trying out some new stuff in Medium right now. We did some drawing and I continue the white charcoal drawing that I've been doing before this, and then we ended up picking this as trying to get into a little bit of like landscape and scenery type stuff. And Catlin won the reference drawing thing again. No, the cubing time was not 56 seconds. It was 2 minutes, I think. Let's see, I could probably still see it on my thing here. Let's see. Yep, just 2 minutes and a second is what we had. Oops. So, yeah, oops, I seem to be hung up on my chair. Okay, there we go. It's a little weird having a cord going to your head. One of these days you're going to be right. Yeah, I've done 56 seconds before, but it's like my best time. I've done like 45 seconds. I think it's my best. It's my best time ever. So this is where this gets interesting, is combining it with painting. You know, like I'm doing sculpting, but I'm also doing painting. I'm doing some fairly rough painting, I should say. There's some brown in here that I need to get. So I watched no, This Day You Haven't. Is that about the time? I went back and watched the stream where you were painting that commission. It looks really good. I'm really excited for it. Did you read the message I sent you about a background? No, I guess I didn't see it. Was it in Discord? I saw in Discord that you tried to post something, and apparently I have the settings messed up because Nightbot wasn't allowing it. Here, I can look now. Give me a second. Yes, Discord. Okay. I can see it here, I think, without pulling it up on everyone else's screens. I can go here and see. We were talking about it in a stream. If you want, you could show this to your son, and I could make a background to suit his fancy. Could make it seem like he is in space or something, perhaps. Or your favorite color of his. Okay, yeah, I'll show it to him and see what he thinks. That sounds like that could be an interesting take on it, to put him in a different space, or to put him on a solid background, maybe. Yeah, that could make it fun. That's a good idea. Thanks. So I'll get back to you on that when I get a chance to see what he thinks. Oops, what did I do? Oops, yeah, there's kind of this kind of stuff going on over here too. Awesome, it looks really good. I'm excited for the end product. I should probably pull it up and show everybody else just a second. Except that it's let's see if I can open the link in a new window. Oops. Oh, did you notice, TQI, I've redone the treatment on my stream, so I've got this particle effect going on. There, there. And yeah, it's been fun. Okay, so open original image. See if I can download it. So I wanna rotate it. It's sideways. That might be fun. Oh, let's see. There you go. Got a fancy wave, yeah, like a particle wave type thing. I don't know if you saw that. I actually did a stream on doing particle effects using WebGL, and it was very similar to this sort of effect. This actually, I didn't actually create this. It's something I bought, but I'm planning on creating my own version of this at some point when I have more time. Come on, it doesn't. I don't know what it's doing. It must be opening. Oh, it's opening another browser, I guess. There we go. It is. It's opening a browser. Okay. Save picture as. Okay, so I just gotta save this to desktop. I'd opened it like 5 times in Edge browser because I didn't think I was opening it in Edge browser. Okay, so now if I open that, desktop, I gotta go to desktop. There it is. So for now I can rotate it and show everybody. All right, let's go to view. So that is looking really good. I'm really liking it. I like the decisions you made in the Millennium Falcon there to keep the amount of detail in the Legos just right. It's just perfect. It's really nice. The color and the expression really did a nice job. It's be interesting to see what we come up with for the background. Really beautiful work, Tikiwa. Okay, back to medium. Are we on time? It's coming down toward the end. I'm trying to stick to the schedule, so this might end up being part of next week's thing too, or Wednesdays. Actually, you know what? I'm planning on going to 4 nights a week, 3 or 4, at least 3 nights a week. Let's say 3 nights a week. So I think Thursday is the night I might add. So we'll get a little bit more work here, a little more progress on this that way. Yeah, I used to, well, so I've only ever scheduled twice a week, but for a bit there I was doing kind of 1 or 2 bonus streams. I call them bonus streams, where they were ones that I hadn't really committed to, but then I would go ahead and do them anyway. But now I think I'm going to commit to an additional night, maybe get 1 bonus stream in, because I just need to be a little more often, I think. Seems like if people can't count on you coming on pretty regularly, then you kind of doing the following ends up kind of dwindling down again. It's kind of a steep climb sometimes. All right, I think that's pretty good. Looks like a lot more black in mine, but that's because I think I haven't got the. That's right. I'm just gonna keep going with this. No, that's not quite right. What I want is for that to kind of connect. No, it's supposed to be a little darker. Need to zoom in a bit and take this and zoom it up a bit so I can have a little bit more reach in my palette, a little bit more range, I mean, in my palette. There's a lot of texture in there that I'm missing. I can now see, but I don't know how much time I want to spend on the texture. That really ought to probably be in the there's probably ought to be more of that texture in the rock itself, right? But painting the rock, texturing it, and painting it kind of makes this interesting process. I'm going to go ahead and just all right. Kind of has the overall effect of it. I think this here is kind of actually it's supposed to looks like it's supposed to have a fair amount of this darker gray. Let's see that kind of that gray, and then it gets up to that gray there, and then the water. I'm not sure what to do for the water. I guess this color maybe. Maybe I need to. I don't know. Probably not going to get that figured out tonight. It's all of my guess, but I think this is probably would be everything probably goes to black further in. It's my guess. And the wall back there is all green, and I'm going to start putting some greenery in. And do that as a new layer. New sculpting layer. I'm going to, you know, I figured out something. Remember the issue I was having before with the clay having a color to it? It turns out there's actually an option for that. So I can actually go and use, so that was, I think, the layer I had for foliage before. But there's an option right here that says use stamp color. So I turn that off, and I think Now it's going to go ahead and use whichever color I choose. Let's see. Let's oops, I'm going to go ahead and take this out of my scene. There we go. That's what I want to do, is take that out. No. Take it out. There we go. Let's try this right in there. Okay, that is too low res, so let's go up in resolution. Better. Pull it over there, and then it looks like it gets. This is really more to do with the light probably than the color, but there's a slightly greener bit right there. But yeah, some very yellow stuff back here. Maybe I'm putting it too. Looks like there's something under there maybe, and then the wall back behind. Let's see if I want to do like this or here. Maybe I could go ahead and pick back to organic and pick doesn't actually need to just straight be the leaves. I can go ahead and just use this to kind of approximate vegetation. No, that wasn't quite what I want. I want that like blue color. Okay, I think I'm off. Going to do some yoga and read before bed. Great, thanks for stopping in. Take you a while. It was great hearing from you. It's great having you here. I hope that you get some rest and have a good yoga session. Thanks for being here. I think I'll actually say goodbye in the stream or in the chat. Let's see. Oh. I don't have my what do you call it? Emotes in this. Yep. See you later. I'm about to wrap things up here pretty soon too. See, I'm gonna just go ahead and see if I can pick like a bluer. I think that's kind of the sort of color I want. I guess there's this kind of thing up here too. It's more green, but I think I'm gonna I might go ahead and switch to back to this guy. Oops, that's not it. I want to switch back to that one. Yeah, I think so. I don't know, I keep getting these really muddy greens and that's not the color I'm seeing. That's not it at all. Okay, let's come way up here. It's a little too much. That's kind of what I want, is a little bit of a transition in that color back there. And then this is really the color I want. Actually, I just want to paint this wall back here to be this color. Oh, it doesn't quite seem that green. Maybe I need to take it back a bit. I mean, it's the problem is there's that mist in there, and I can't quite portray the mist, you know, the way it is. I could try just color and painting. No, I don't know. Opacity down. Getting hardness way down. Yeah, I guess that sort of approximates it. Yeah, that works. lot of white in here. I think this side ought to be a bit more that though. It seems like the light might be in the wrong place. Am I on time? Oh, I am over on time, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust this light, and then I'm going to, the light is like it's right in there. It's coming through like that. Let's take a picture just for the heck of it. Capture photo. Right, that's too much. That's I think I've turned that up. I'm going to turn it down. There we go. No, I'm not sure. Let's see, am I making it more extreme? I want to make it less extreme. The source image is definitely a very low, what do you call it? Low. I guess I just need to let me just close that for a second. I just gotta pull this guy up a bit. Move tool. This can be further back too. It doesn't need to be so close. That's better, I think. All right, let's take that picture. Capture photo. Let's see, can I turn off this, maybe choose clay or something. Boy, I really ended up with this thing being a lot bigger in here than I intended for it to be. Kind of thought it'd be out of the view, and it's right in the middle. It's the entire view. So I might just, I don't know, erase that. Oops. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I was trying to switch to my smooth tool real quick. That's better. Still not the way it's supposed to be in the picture, but that's all right. I'm out of time, so pencils down. The mouse is down is what they used to say at the agency I worked at. Is that really as far as it goes? I guess that's as far as. All right, I guess that's it. That's interesting. It's not perfect, but it's a fun exercise. Go ahead and save this. All right. So that's our stream for tonight. I will find somebody for us to raid. Please stick around for the raid. If we have at least 2 people in the raid, that's what it takes. I will go ahead and here you can follow along here as I try to figure out who to raid. I think let's see what Leo Rose is doing. All right. Oops, I need to stop my music. There we go. And let's go ahead and do this raid. The call sign will be here. Let me get into the dashboard because I need the let's see, I need here we go, this to do the, actually we don't need to do if it's just a few of us. I guess there's no point in doing we'll just go ahead and do the raid. All right, well, thanks so much for joining. A lot of fun. We made some progress on the white charcoal drawing, and then we got to do a bit of a cave scene in medium. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys later this week. Oh, I think I have credits. I've been meaning to roll credits. I don't remember how to roll credits, but that's supposed to be a feature here. Let me see if I've done it before. I'm not remembering how. Let's see. Not seeing how to do it. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Now I'm breaking things. Okay, I'll have to figure out how to roll credits some other time. Let's just go ahead and do this raid. All right, so thanks for joining. Good night.